Thought Bubble Audio.
Look, up in the sky!
You will never find the more wretched hive of scum and villainy.
Welcome to Beer with Geeks with Tim and Frank.
Who are you?
I'm Batman.
I am Iron Man.
Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Hi, Christopher. I'm Nero.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
You're a wizard, Harry.
A couple of guys with a couple of beers and a whole lot of pop culture nostalgia.
Make it so, number one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Beatles.
Name the dog, Indiana.
Life finds a way.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Now sit back and crack open a cold one, because it's time for Beer with Geeks.
It comes in paints?
Shaken, not stirred.
Great Scott!
I was way off. I knew it started with an S, though.
Hi, and welcome to Beer with Geeks, where two geeks geek out with beer. I'm Tim, and with me, as always, is my friend who gets flummoxed when answering questions. Frank, how are you today?
I don't know how I am. How am I supposed to know? Do I have to pick one?
You have to pick one feeling, one emotion.
But I'm in a glass case of them. I feel so many emotions.
So happy, flummoxed. You feel flummoxed.
I feel flummoxed.
Well, take a sip of beer,
All right.
and then tell me how you feel.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Before you take a sip of beer, what are you sipping on?
I didn't wait until you. I didn't wait, but I did it anyway. But it's winter, so I am enjoying a good old Sam Adams Winter Lager, their festive Bock beer, limited release, and it is delicious and brewed with orange peel and cinnamon and ginger, and it's a classic. It's a winter classic. So that's what I'm going with. Sam Winter Lager.
Man, that sounds great. I am going with what is my usual right now because I stopped at the alcohol store, Frank, and they didn't. I know, and they didn't have any gluten-free beer that I require, none whatsoever. So I am drinking an Omission Brewing Company Ultimate Light Golden Ale. It's still good, and it was already in my fridge, so I'm not upset about drinking it. But I wanted to see what other range of options were out there, and this store had zero. So I will be going to another store in the future.
Oh, well.
That's okay. I had high hopes. They were dashed.
Yeah.
Dashed, Frank.
Dashing through the snow.
But Frank, I was thinking about our drinking. And I was thinking we should play the game Thinking and Drinking. Because it's been a little while since we played it. For those of you who don't remember our fun segment Thinking and Drinking, we have a card game that was built to foster great conversation. And you can pick it up at any place that you'd like that sells it. There you go.
Pretty much.
Pick your own vendor. I don't care.
I think they have their website is probably the best. Just Google Thinking and Drinking and you'll find it. It's great.
Yeah, Thinking Drinking. I think www.thinkingdrinking.beer is.
That's a great URL, and I'm going to throw it in the show notes for everybody. Thinkingdrinking.beer. Wow, good for them. That's great.
Mm-hmm. I know. It's great. So anyway, I'm going to ask a question, and Frank's going to answer, and I'm going to answer, and that will either stimulate conversation or dead air, and we'll see what happens.
Hopefully the former and not so much the latter.
Exactly, but we'll find out. All right, so anyway, first question. Who's been the most important person in your life?
Whoa. Okay. Wow. All right, so... Starting off with the easy ones, I see.
I don't know.
Yeah, right. You have 5 seconds before it's too late to say my name.
It's got on too long already.
This is uncomfortable.
Okay. Return the flowers.
So I was just watching a few weeks back. There was an episode of This Is Us where someone was asked this very question, and so while I was watching it, I had the same. I thought about this question. I'm gonna have to say my wife, though. Like I of course, that's the person who's had the most impact on my life, because I've found so many like new things in life since we've been together, and I've moved to a new city in part to be with her, and new hobbies, new interests, new people and places and things that I that weren't part of my life before are, and they all stem from her. So I'm sorry, bud, but I have to say my wife is the most important, influential person on my life.
I accept that, Frank, and that was going to be my answer too. I was going to be
my
your
wife,
and then I decided that it's not going to be that. And instead, I'm going to say my Faja, otherwise known as my father. I almost went with my mom too, but I decided that I am very much genetically my mother. But I aspire to be my father because I'm not genetically like him the same way. And so I think I actively think about what it's like to be my father and how to do that as opposed to just naturally being my mother. And
see.
And so it was a tough call on that. Tough call on that question, but that's what I'm going with. But there were a few answers much like yours. I could say my fiance, I also moved for her recently, and all such things. And so, but I'm gonna go with my father because I think ultimately I decided that even what would my father do in this case? Like, well, he'd move because that's the kind of person my dad is, and things like that. So I think that it all stems from there.
Big role model.
Exactly. That was a heavy question, Frank. I'm going to go for a light one next. What's the home screen photo on your phone?
Oh, okay. Home screen photo on my phone right now, if I can find my phone. The lock screen is actually, I really, really like the wallpaper that they're using in all the iPhone XS ads right now. It's it looks like a big planet, or ball of gas or whatever. So I've been using that for my lock screen for a few weeks now. And then my actual home screen is actually just you probably can barely see it, but it's, you can kind of see it. It's a grid of lines. So the icons kind of fall in this grid. So it sort of surrounds all the icons. So
okay.
Yeah,
I honestly can't see that at all, but I trust you.
Fair enough.
That's okay. I'll do my lock screen too, since you offered yours. My lock screen is a bird's eye view of Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris.
Ooh.
Actually, it's a straight down, bird's eye view. It's a straight down shot. But it's the Disney rendering from The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Nice.
So it's an animated bird's eye view of Notre Dame and surrounding Paris, which is pretty cool. I will send it to you if you are so inclined. And my home screen is a Frank Miller Batman piece with Frank Miller and Catwoman. I think he did it for Batman 700, I think.
Okay.
There was a bunch of different pieces of art that came out with that comic book issue, and I enjoyed his quite a bit. It was the wedding issue, I think that's what it was.
Oh, okay.
It was the wedding issue,
okay.
Batman 50 then. So it was the wedding issue, and I liked it. It's actually one of the better Frank Miller pieces that I've seen in a number of years, and it's been there a long time. I don't know why I haven't changed it. I'm so used to it now, I guess.
Yeah, that happens to me too.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next question. If you were president, what would your Secret Service code name be?
Ooh. Okay. It would need to be. It would be something like. It'd be like an obscure Star Wars character or something. It'd be like Baron Papanoida or something like that.
Yep. Yes, it would be. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. What about you? Do you know what yours would be?
Or even weird references to other things outside of that. You'd be like, Jedi Rocks is moving. Jedi Rocks is on the way. The Wampa is in the White House.
The Wampa is in the lair. Repeat, the Wampa is in the lair.
I don't know what mine would be. It's a great question. I like the idea of something from Star Wars.
Yeah, you like that too.
I like that too.
I feel like yours would be like General Veers, or it would be something a little more dignified than mine.
General Veers. Well, I prepare the men is what I do. Yeah. For war, whatever presidents do.
I mean, what did Baron Papanoida do?
nothing.
Look like
right?
George Lucas is all he did.
He looked like George Lucas, exactly. He was big and blue and had a beard. And you have 2 out of the 3 of those things. I will not share with the audience which one it is.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know what mine would be. I don't know. You decide for me.
I want to
This is a
say
hard
yours
question.
would be like a Lord of the Rings character.
I think so. I'd be like, it would be like, Baggins has left the hole,
Sure.
or something.
Baggins left the hole. Yeah.
Something like that.
Uh huh.
I don't know. We'll find out one day. No, we won't.
He's
Not
left
really.
the Hobbit hole.
Exactly. 5 words your family/friends use to describe you. This is tough. 5 words. Just do 1 word. 5 words is too many. We're gonna be here all night.
That's funny because I actually had something for the 5 words.
Oh, go ahead.
It'd be something like they'd be trying to. It's 5 words to describe what. Let's make sure that what I have works. 5 words to describe what.
5 words to describe you. So,
to
for
describe
instance, mine would be like a pain in the ass.
Right.
Something like that. Yeah.
I was gonna say like I was thinking about them trying to describe like what I do for work, and
He's a transponder.
Transponster.
Yeah.
No, I feel like they'd say something like, "Don't know what he does." I don't know, something with social media and computer. At one point, my God bless him, my almost 94-year-old grandfather came off the boat from Italy in the 50s. I explained to him that I worked at a computer all day, and he was like, "Oh, you make computers? Oh, he makes computers. My grandson makes computers. No, I don't make computers. I use one for work. Me and like hundreds of millions of other people every day use a computer." Like, oh, you make it a computer. Okay. Oh, you make it a computer. Oh, very nice. You make it a computer. That's what Nono talks like.
I want that to be the title of this episode, but phonetically written out.
You make a computer.
Yeah.
Your wish is my command.
Fantastic. Oh, you make it a computer. Oh,
It's
yeah,
like
baby.
like it's a me, Mario. Make it a computer.
I remember the Twitter account you used to have for your.
Oh, it's still out
your
there.
Grandfather. Oh, is it?
It's still out there. I don't update it as often as I used to, but
the one that sticks in my brain the most is when you're like, Grandpa. Someone was like, Grandpa, what'd you have for breakfast? He's like, buffalo. And in parentheses says waffles.
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 Yeah.
It's my favorite one. Anyway, if you could borrow a talent from any other player, what would it be? So we have to borrow a talent from each other because it's just the 2 of us.
If I could borrow a talent from you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you are actually frustratingly talented. But the one that comes to my mind first, okay, if it's a talent and not like a quality.
Yes, talent, because I have qualities that I would steal from you, but I've
you
restricted
have a
myself
lot
to
of
talent.
You have a lot of qualities I would steal, but talent, your ability to play piano, and keyboard.
That's hilarious because my talent is to steal your guitar playing skills.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh, give to the Magi.
Yay. Good
Give
story
to the
reference.
musical Magi.
Yeah.
I have always just been so envious of keyboard players. I always wish that I love playing guitar. I don't want to trade you guitar for piano because I love guitar so much, but I wish I could play both. Because then I would feel like a more well-rounded musician. But being things being as they are, I'm a decent guitar player. But that's funny that you you wish you could play guitar.
Yeah, I cannot get my fingers to move the way that you can, the way that guitar players can. And I've just been envious of stringed instruments even in general, but guitar is like, it's because it's something you can see a guitar anywhere and pick it up and play it.
Sure.
And you could do that with a piano technically too, but they're generally in places where you're not allowed to do that all the time, and so like guitar, you can almost like sit and play subtly. You can take it with you. You can't do that stuff with pianos.
Right.
It's much more difficult. I like transportable instruments, and I'm envious of that.
Yeah, pianos are not super portable. And yeah, you're right. When you do happen upon one, it's like in someone's house or in a, wherever, in some setting where you're not really supposed to be playing piano. So yeah, I get that. I get that. There's the portability factor and the sort of I'm allowed to play this or not factor. But I just wish but similarly, I can't get my fingers to move the way that you can. And I think that's just like a muscle memory thing. And if you learn from an early age, you can. I do think guitar is easier to learn at a later age, though. And maybe that's just me, because I can play it. It's easy for me to say. But like, I feel like that's something you could pick up, with. It would probably take more practice at a more advanced age than it would if you were younger. But I feel like you could still pick it up. Yeah. At least a few chords, and just like learn sort of some basic chords so that you could play like 3 or 4 chord songs. I bet you could do that. Yeah,
I mean, I can play the ukulele, so technically I can play the ukulele chords. I can play the bottom 4 strings, and like it's not the same, but I can I can pretend.
If you can play ukulele, it's a transferable skill, and you could learn.
It's not though. It's not.
You don't think so?
I can't get my fingers to move across 6 strings to make the chords. I've tried. Believe me, I've tried. They don't work that way. They just can't stretch and hold the strings the way that they're supposed to.
Funny.
Yeah, I don't know. Huh. That's why I kind of transferred into ukulele because it's a much easier instrument.
And you're good at that. I mean, but we've played together. We played our ukuleles together.
Yeah,
that's not a euphemism. Shut up. We've played our
playing our ukuleles together. Also a good title episode.
Yeah, I know. I'm not sure what's better.
Oh, something to think about. So anyway, moving on. What is your favorite expletive? The R2D2 sound. Okay, I'm going to change it. What is your favorite G-rated expletive? When you're not allowed to swear, what do you say instead?
I love there was a show on Fox called Last Man on Earth with Will Forte. Sure. Mm-hmm. Their fill-in expletive whenever they wanted to say the F word was, oh, farts. It just made me laugh every time. It's just a stupid, childish way. It's just, it's fun. On The Good Place on NBC, they'll say, oh, fork.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they're actually pretty funny and artful about the way that they'll be like, what a forking shirt bag, or whatever. Mm-hmm. But I like oh, farts. Oh, farts is really funny. My wife and I will say it to each other sometimes just to make each other laugh. Oh, farts.
I like that. Mine is son of a nutcracker. I'm a big I think you've heard me say it before. Stolen from Elf. It's right. People are like, why do you say that? I'm like, it's from Elf. It's my favorite line from that stupid movie that I love. He's like, son of a nutcracker. It's fun to say. Would recommend.
Cotton-headed Ninnymuggins. That's another one.
Also a good one. Also like your Superman beer cozy that I just noticed.
Yeah, our friend Dan gave this to me a few months back.
Oh, very nice.
Says this looks like a job for, and then has the S symbol.
Love it. Just for you. Good job, Dan. Like it a lot. Name 3 things that begin with the same letter as your name. First 3 things that come to mind.
Farts, friends, and felines.
Oh, you didn't say fork. I can't believe you.
Oh,
you
yeah.
didn't say fork. Wow. Look at that. All right. My turn.
I just named my 3 favorite things off the top.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You do you. That's fine. Thinking and Drinking, Titus Andronicus, and Thunderbolt.
Nice. Titus Andronicus, nice.
That was the first one that came to my mind. Huh. I don't know why. Nope, can't ask that question on a G-rated show. Never mind. I'll tell you off air.
Please do.
I'm going to actually separate it from the crowd, so I can't tell you. What do you need less of in your life?
Wow. Okay. I need one thing, right? What's one thing I need less of? I need less of people getting on my case at work.
Oh my God, I was gonna say nagging.
Nagging is good.
It's kind of nagging, but not in a way that like your wife nags at you.
No.
Just like the feeling of that, like that nagging feeling. Yeah. Like, oh, I've got to do something. I have this thing that's hanging over my head, or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I work in marketing, and there's campaigns with deadlines and things like that in marketing, and I will often work with partners at internally and external, but like people in other departments who I'm helping to promote whatever they're working on, and Sometimes they'll nag because they don't know the process that I'm going through or whatever, and so they'll nag and be like, "Hey, did you do this? Can you do this? Can you do this?" It's like, I will. I'm working on 5 other projects, so if you'll stop nagging me, I will do your piece when the right time comes. I promise I haven't forgotten. So yeah, I could use less of that. That would decrease a lot of my stress. What about you? Would you just say nagging in general?
Yeah, I think that the nagging feeling, like something hanging over your head that you just have to get done. I'm an absurdly busy person, and I don't even know how I had time to do this podcast, to be perfectly honest.
Don't either, but you do. What I really don't know is how you have time to do Academy Rewind, where you have to watch 5 to 10 movies per episode. That really boggles my mind how you find time to do that and do it so well.
It boggles mine too. I honestly don't know how I do everything. It is. I think it's magic. I think I'm actually a wizard.
I think you might be. I think you might be, because you've got to be one of the hardest working men in podcasting.
Oh, that's so nice of you to say. That's so nice. Let's move on to the next question so I don't blush on a audio podcast. When, not what, was the best beer you've ever had?
When
was the best beer? When was the best beer you've ever had? It's a good question.
Okay. The best beer I ever had was probably around 2015. I know where I was. I don't remember specifically which beer it was, actually, to be honest. But it was one of the first times that I had a really good Trappist beer. I think it was like a Belgian quad or triple. And I had it in Portland, Maine at Novare Res Beer Café, which is to date, it's still my favorite beer bar in the world that I've ever been to. And I just had this unbelievable, Trappist beer that just blew my mind. And I love Trappist beers. They're my favorite, Trappist beers and really any kind of Belgian beers tend to be my favorites.
I don't know if that really answers the question. That's really, what was the best beer you've ever had?
When?
Not when, as in like, when did you crack open a beer and went, oh my God, I needed this. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me today.
This one day in 2015 when I went to this bar.
All right, okay, good.
It was my first time there, and I was like, okay, this is supposed to be a really good beer bar. Like, let me check this out, and let me order something off the menu, and I did, and I cracked open this beer, whatever it was. I don't even remember which beer it was, which I'm kind of embarrassed about, but I don't. But I do remember. I remember everything about that day and sitting down and what seat I sat in. Like, if I walked into that bar today, I could point to the seat where I sat in, and just the experience of it. And we sat there for a couple hours and had a few beers, and it was just heavenly and beautiful and perfect. And I'm part of the reason why that place is like my favorite place is because I had that great experience there that one day in fall or winter of 2015.
That sounds lovely. I don't have a specific time, but I can say like any time going out to work with some colleagues to kind of de-stress, and they put a beer in front of you and you say, oh my God, I needed this, not to even not to get wasted or tipsy or anything, just to relax. It's like an ultimate symbol of relaxation. And it just like you can feel the blood pressure going down and everything kind of melting away. And those are my best moments. Those are when I've had the best beer. Doesn't even
cheers
really
to that, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just feels great. I feel good thinking about it right now. What was the scariest moment while traveling?
I think I can tell the story.
That was my reaction when I read the card. I was like, yeah, I can tell the story.
Yeah. My wife got a little sick on our last time we went on a vacation. We were in Portugal, went to the Azores, which was fantastic, and I recommend to anybody, by the way. And I think she may have eaten something or drank something that didn't sit well with her, and so we had to take her to the emergency room. Her stomach wasn't feeling well, and so there was I don't speak Portuguese really, except for whatever conversational Portuguese I learned, for this trip. We were there for like 2 or 3 days when this happened, and I do speak a little Spanish, so I was able to sort of fake. Spanish and Portuguese are reasonably similar, not really, but reasonably similar. in a lot of ways. So I was able to sort of fake my way through, with a little bit of Googling, a little bit of fakery, and a little bit of whatever, conversational Portuguese that I knew. I was able to express to everybody around me, like, hey, this is my wife. She doesn't feel well. Here's what's wrong. Can you help her? And so that was a little scary, just because I was going to a hospital in a foreign country and didn't know how it was going to turn out. Turned out fine. We were only there a few hours. They gave her medicine, sent her home. She was fine. But and we were able to enjoy the rest of our vacation without a hitch after that. But that was definitely scary for a little bit there when I was showing up and had to be like, okay, I need to communicate this complicated message to these people somehow. But it worked out.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that worked out. I guess I have two scary stories. I'm going to choose one that I think is more scary. I have one that I also got sick in a foreign country, which that when you don't speak the language, it's like. But thank God you have a translator, and I feel worried about it. So I'm not going to share that one without giving any details for protection and purpose. I went on a trip with somebody who had early onset Alzheimer's, and we lost them.
Ooh, that is scary.
That point. They wandered away from the group. Person who had eyes on turned away very briefly and went back, and boom, gone in the crowd. And we were in a foreign country, and the person didn't bring their cell phone, and of course didn't tell us until after we were in the country. That they didn't have
scary.
It. And so that was very scary. So long story short, they ended up just going to the next place. They knew where they were supposed to, and they just went on their own. And we were like, and so everybody arrived, and they were like, I'm here. I'm already here. What's the problem? And so, but that was very scary.
I can totally understand that.
That was awful.
Yeah.
I would care never to repeat that experience ever again.
I don't blame you.
One last question. Easy question. What's an ability you wish you had? Flight, that's a good one.
I mean, that's easy. I wish that every day when I'm commuting home. I just want to fly home and be there already.
Oh, sure. Yeah, see, a flight I thought about, I would love to time travel, even just in my own life, because I think, you ever see the movie About Time?
Yes. Yes, you loaned me that movie. I love it.
Yeah, great movie, but just the ability to go back even in your own life and reappreciate some days that you've missed, or you're like, you know what, that was a really stupid thing to say. Let me just go back and fix that real fast. And things like that. I would, as somebody who, as we said, somebody like myself who is absurdly busy, would love some extra time.
Oh yeah,
just to even unwind would be spectacular. But that is the whole kit and caboodle for us, Frank. I'm going to end there. So you can find us on beerwithgeeks.com and Twitter and Facebook and Gmail. You can rate and review us on iTunes and find us all the places podcasts can be found. You can head over to patreon.com/stoppableaudio to give some money to the show. 25 cents a week, boiling down to $1 a month, $12 a year would be very beneficial to all involved in Thoppable Audio. You can, of course, check other Thoppable Audio shows at thoppableaudio.com, including but not limited to Academy Rewind, Supergirl TV Talk, Tolkien TV Talk, Starkville's House of El Krypton. There's so many lovely things that are out there for everyone. Hate Watch with us, and
Metropolis podcast.
Metropolis podcast, and some new stuff coming down the pipeline. So good stuff all the way around. Did I say Supergirl TV Talk? Don't even remember. I did. Great. Okay.
Good job.
Yay me. All right. Well, Frank, this has been lovely. So I say, until next time, cheers.